Hi, folks. This is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. I'm going to go to something I've talked about a lot, and some people feel it's not that important, and other people think it may be one of the most important part of fishing, and that is what color lures do we use? We know fish can see color. We know they can discriminate between colors. At least we think we know that. But how important is it? One of the things that I'm seeing right now by a lot of these different tackle distributors and places around the country that are really trying to advertise what they have is they're trying to explain why you need to get certain things. And one of the trends is that in the spring, a period upon which we are entering, in the spring, they want you to believe that red is the number one color. Red is the color you should be using the early time of the year. And I got to tell you, my favorite color in the spring has always been orange. I've always really done better with orange in the spring than any other color. And as the season progresses, I don't see sort of a trend in colors that makes as much a difference from another color once it becomes warmer water and it progresses into the summer and then eventually into the fall. I don't see a one color stand out all the time like I think it does more so in the spring. So why would red be such a popular color? Well, one thing we know is red is the color of blood, and blood is an exciter that stimulates a lot of changes in sort of behavior in fish and in animals. So that's one reason. There's a time when people were painting their hooks red. They wanted to paint bright red eyes on their lures and so forth. So red has always been an instigator to draw attention and to maybe have them zone in on a lure for that reason. Another thing, though, is one of the most popular foods that fish of, I think, almost all species tend to eat is crayfish. And in the spring, crayfish can become almost bright red. That's a time when their colors are at its brightest, and fish relate to this. So that might mean another reason why red lures are so effective at this time of the year. The other thing is a lot of time in the spring, and this isn't so much a factor with us, except in the very beginnings when there's runoff. But a lot of times in the spring, the water is dirtier because it's flowing at a greater rate. There's more water coming in from surrounding areas and bringing some of the stuff from the soil into the water. So the water may not be as clear. And red is easier for the fish to see. So for all of these reasons, and probably many more, it might be a good idea to sort of experiment more with red colors this spring. I know a lot of spinner baits now are having one of their blades be red or orangish red, and maybe it's for that same reason. And, as I've said, a lot of people put red hooks on because the fish are going to see that red hook, and they'll paint their eyes on their lure bright red. Red is I guess it's an angry color. It would be the best way to describe it. It's a fiery action color. And so maybe it's something we should look more into and maybe try more lures in the spring that are red. I know one bait that a lot of the guys in Healing Waters that became my friends in doing my TV show, they were going to a Strike King red lipless crankbait. That's like a rattle bait. And red seemed to be their favorite. So there's probably a lot to this color thing. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.